pleasure of introducing the first panel. And so before I introduce the moderator, I'm going to try to insert some context into this and how incredibly exciting it is. And I don't want to steal, really don't want to steal away Director Kuta's thunder with what she has to talk about. But I can just say that what's happening with the Central Bank of Liberia is exactly what happens when you have incredible leadership from the governor on down, amazing executors in Director Kuta and Deputy Director Davis, who are driving a program. And they're going to talk about some of the details of what they've been able to do. But what they've been able to do as fast as they've been able to do it, the obstacles they've had to overcome, honestly, what they've been able to do, sometimes in the span of time of how long it takes me to return some of your emails, they've actually built a payment system. And so, again, without taking away too much of their thunder, I really hope you pay attention to this panel, because what's happening with the Central Bank of Liberia right now is, in my opinion, just one of the most exciting things that I'm watching. So with that, I'd like to introduce Jamalino to come and introduce his panel.
So, good to be here. Let me start by introducing this session's speakers. Welcome on the stage, Director Miata Kute, Director of Payment System for the Bank of Liberia. And then Director Marcus Davis, Deputy Director of Payment System for the Bank of Liberia. So Ni Aye, good. I hope the pronunciation is good. Ni CEO of Tisaos. And then my colleague Mamadi Jabate, who is Technical Payment Specialist at African Under Foundation. So we were approached a few months ago by the Bank of Liberia to assist in deploying a Mojalu platform that promotes interoperability between mobile money operators. It took us 73 days to deploy the G2P use case and 11 days to deploy the P2P between MTN and Orange. So what are the ingredients of this, I would say, quick and successful deployment? Today, the speakers will share their perspective on the subject. They will share an overview of the governance structure. They will also talk about the key objective of the project, obviously the market context, and then what were the key activities we developed for this project, and obviously the lesson learned from the project. So let me start by Miata, Director Miata. Maybe you can share the perspective, the overview of the Liberia market. Do we have the presentation? Simeon?
This is a transformational project for the country. The pillars of our leadership here has been to digitize the Liberian economy. The payment landscape is increasingly becoming very important, and in order for us to be on par with our neighbors, we thought that the way to do that would have been to digitize the economy. So we have embarked on the project to fully deploy a switch that can incorporate all of the market participants, which include the commercial banks, the mobile money operators, and the fintech. So as a first step towards achieving that, we decided on the integration of the mobile money operators as a first step to achieving the deployment of the national electronic switch.
Liberia. Its history is deeply rooted in strength and perseverance, shaped by generations who have worked to rebuild and move the country forward. Yet, one of its greatest ongoing challenges is financial inclusion. Financial access is limited, and interoperability is missing, and the unbanked, especially in rural areas, remain underserved. To address these challenges, the Central Bank of Liberia, in partnership with Africa Menda and Titsa Works, is currently implementing a national inclusive instant payment system. A modern, open infrastructure designed to support digital financial inclusion at scale.
So, for the implementation of the fast payment system, the central bank is riding on the Mojo Loop open source switch or technology. And the importance of leveraging the Mojo Loop is such that integration is easier. The switch is compatible with whatever payment infrastructure that the DFSPs have, and enabling framework to ensure that the switch is used in a very safe and secure environment.
So we are visiting Liberia to support the Central Bank of Liberia in implementing the project, talking with the stakeholders, seeing the users on the ground, looking at the challenges firsthand, and also trying to move forward with the project implementation from the system, and as well as the other work streams that are necessary to launch the instant payment system in Liberia.
Liberians have been waiting for a transformational change, and this is part of the strategy of the Central Bank of Liberia and the government of Liberia at large. And this is going to change the mindset of people around the handling of cash. It's also going to create another opportunity for Liberians.
So this is going to benefit the whole ecosystem, starting with the central bank, all the banks, all our agents, all our subscribers, and the entire Liberian population, including the mass and parts in the marketplace. You can send money from the orange line to MTN with ease and at a low cost. Welcome on board this interoperable solution, and let's grow digitally together.
This project is the result of tireless work and collaboration, built to provide real benefits for businesses, families, and communities across the country.
I want to tell the Central Bank governor and his team that, hey, bravo, we want to see this thing happening. We are not just saying that it should happen. We want to see it now, because that is the easier way that we can see our people moving forward. So I appreciate what they are doing, and we will support them to make sure we reach the messages to our people to understand that this is the way we can go and build our country.
This new payment system will bring real change.
When the system is fully implemented, it will impact every citizen in Liberia in a positive way.
But it is more than that. It will be a foundation for lasting financial inclusion and growth.
And so we encourage countries and central banks that have not embarked on this initiative to take advantage of it, because it will be a game changer for any economy.
The future is bright in Liberia.
So I think my first question will go to Director Miata. Do we have the presentation now? Okay. So Director Miata, maybe you can walk us through the context of the Liberian market, for those who don't know.
So, thank you, Gemelino. Let me start by thanking Paula for the support. We have a letter of intent signed with the Mojo Loop Foundation. We have been a pillar of support to the Central Bank of Liberia. Thank you, Paula, to you and your team. Our payment ecosystem is such that we have 9 commercial banks. We have 2 mobile money operators, MTN and Orange. We have several fintech or DFSPs. And we've implemented also from the Central Bank of Liberia our legacy payment system, including the RTGS, the automated clearinghouse, the electronic funds transfer, and our cross-border payments, which is the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System. We have all of the commercial banks integrated, and we've implemented or develop several legal and regulatory framework to enhance the digital payment space. We have a national financial inclusion strategy that has targeted 50% adult ownership of bank account or mobile wallet. And today we have achieved 52%. And I must say that we were able to achieve that target before the expiry of our strategy in 2024. Sorry. In terms of account ownership, the World Bank Global Findex Report 2024 has Liberia account ownership. 2017, we were at 36%, 2021, 52%, and 2024, 52%. But what is interesting about 2024 account ownership is that there was a major shift from bank account to mobile wallet account. That has set the basis for promoting financial inclusion through the extensive use of mobile financial services. So if you look at mobile money now, we have more than 11 million bank accounts, and I must say, mobile money wallets. I must say that most individuals have both accounts, MTN and Orange, the two major service providers, paving the way or stressing the need for interoperability. So you saw the video that we had a challenge when it comes with interoperability, and we leverage the modular loop open source solution. Today we have that success story of successfully integrating the two MNOs with our P2P use case and then also implementing G2P. Account ownership, I'd like to speak about the gender component. We have women at 46%, men 58%. But those that leverage digital payments, we still see women underserved in terms of 41% as compared to the men at 57%. So we're strategic in terms of implementing use cases that are women-focused to ensure that financial inclusion is deepened. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Martha. So maybe you can give more information about the objective of the pilot we did in Liberia.
Absolutely. So the modular loop pilot was targeted at, again, achieving our national financial inclusion target with 50% adult account ownership. And not just that, we have a challenge with the extensive use of cash, which is also posing financial constraint on the government. So we developed a cash light strategy where we defined several use cases. We have Madam Gertrude here. She was very instrumental in helping us do that from Malawi Switch. Thank you, Gertrude. So we had an extensive stakeholder engagement and developed our business case document with several use cases. And one of the most critical use cases was the P2P and the G2P, looking at the number of mobile money account ownership and that challenge with interoperability being absent was the main driving force with the implementation of the pilot phase of the modular loop solution. And we are proud to say that with the ownership of the Central Bank of Liberia, especially the executive governor, leading the implementation of the pilot phase, we were able to do the implementation in a remarkable timeline that we can boast of. It may be the first ever in terms of implementation, but my colleague will talk about it further. Yeah.
Thank you, Director Mehta. I know we always say that governance is key to succeed in this kind of project. I would like to ask now, Mamaji, I know you traveled so many times to Monrovia. What was the structure of the governance put in place?
Thank you very much, John, for the question. The project governance was such that the steering committee, first we started with the steering committee where the CBL, Central Bank of Liberia, led the steering committee. We also had the Africa Lender and Mojalu Foundation. So critical decisions were being taken from the steering committee. And we also, for the project management team, were divided into different work streams, 4 different work streams. We have the technology work stream in charge of the implementation, design, and go live. Now, there's also one important thing I need to mention here. In the different work streams, we assign different team members from the central bank to the DFSPs and Africa Lender. This helps to build capacity and also train the team while the project progresses, and also help to monitor the activities of the progress of the team, especially from CBL side. And it's not to mention that the various work streams were being led by the system integrator, TISAWork. TISAWork played a very key role, not just technology, but they look beyond technology. Engagement and commitment from them at all times was very, very critical. We have the business work stream, responsible for strategy, market adoption, strategies for implementation and market adoption. We also have the fee structure, so the design of the pricing model and all that. Those are also part of the business work stream. And also in the business work stream, it was such that every member of the team, the project team, was involved. So we had a representative from the DFSPs, we have the central bank, and then we also have TISAWork leading this as well. The next work stream was the regulatory work stream, focused on laying the foundation for regulatory compliance and developing scheme rulebook. So the scheme rulebook is very important. That's where we defined the different rules and regulations guiding the DFSPs, the central bank, and the switch operator. So we had participation from all sides. So it's important that whenever you are starting a project, everybody must be carried along. So everyone must feel that they are part and parcel of the project, and that makes it much easier at the end of the day. So we had the regulatory, the regulator from CBL, supervision department, and then we also had from the DFSPs as well, and also being led by TISAWork and Africa Lender participation. The next work stream is the hub operation work streams. So this has to do with the response. This is responsible for onboarding, operational guidelines, settlements, processes, and reconciliations. So this is where, after all the activities in the day, the team that is responsible to ensure that settlements schedules are done on time. So this is also important. CBL, we have CBL playing a very critical role in the various members of the CBL team, and especially Marcos played a very key role in this in Liberia. We had TISAWork working day and night. There's a gentleman called Khan. He's here, he's in the room here. There must be an applause for him. He did very well at all times. And yeah, and he doesn't sleep. I really didn't know the time difference between where he was and and Liberia at the time of the project. So these are very key work streams that help to streamline the project activities and better tracking of the project progress. Thank you.
Thank you. And you want to shed light about
Yes,
who
yes.
were participating and maybe talk about the roles and responsibilities?
Yeah, thank you, Jam, for that. So we had the governance structure extending to the project lead, settlement institution, CBL. CBL played a very critical role. I have been involved in a series of national switch projects, but the level of involvement, support, commitment from CBL was exceptional. From the governor office to the director, Dr. Miata, and the deputy director. So these are the 2 people that really push this project. And we are very grateful for the support and it's also a lesson to learn from them, from other participants that are moving forward with the implementation. We had the Ministry of Finance, Development and Planning. This ministry, we implemented G2P. So we engaged the Ministry of Finance, and the Ministry of Finance was very happy. There's something that we also noted with the Ministry of Finance. The Ministry of Finance is in charge of the payment of salary for civil servants. So the salary usually takes about 7 days before it reaches the civil servant wallet. Thanks to G2P implemented by TISAWorks, within the space of 2 weeks or 3 weeks, TISAWorks managed to make this happen. So we implemented 2 use cases. One is a P2P, and the other one is a G2P. So we went live with G2P, and TISAWorks managed to put all the requirements together, and they built a solution that adapts to the Ministry of Finance requirement for the payment. And now the Ministry of Finance is able to pay civil servant salary within few seconds today. Instead of the 7 days, it's now a few seconds. We also have Orange Money in Liberia. Orange Money was the first mobile money provider to be integrated to the platform. And they have been very supportive of the project. And the payments of government or civil servants, we use Orange Money for the G2P, the first use case of the G2P. Very critical and very supportive. We have Lone Star. Lone Star, that's MTN Mobile Money. They also play a very key role, and we have been able to go live with the G2P for Orange for Lone Star. Lone Star has a larger market share, and we have been able to implement G2P as well as P2P with both Orange Money and Lone Star or MTN Money. We have the project coordinator, which is Africa Lender, and also it's not to mention that our colleagues, Mojalu Foundation, played a very key role. They laid the foundation with the accelerator program and the different capacity building program to prepare the ground for this implementation. So a big applause to our colleagues from Mojalu Foundation, please. And TISAWorks is our system integrator. TISAWorks is the first time for me to see, I'm sure the ladies in TISAWorks are more than the men in terms of gender balance. And they have very strong ladies. They led this project at all time, and they were available. And sometimes you have 15 team members pushing throughout the DFS piece. In fact, they literally were waiting for the integration. So thank you to save time.
That's a good transition. So, as you can see, there is so much to say about this project. There are, I think, 3 minutes left. Maybe I can ask Simeon, we may need extra time to finish this session, but let me now hand over to Ni to talk about the key activities. Let's deep dive into what you have really done on the field. So, technical design, key activities, and you can also talk a little bit about the architecture we put in place.
Thank you, Jam. The most important highlight for us in this project was the number of days that was mentioned before. It took 73 days for us to reach the first real money transfer for the G2P use case, and 111 business days for the P2P use case. And we are very proud of that. Thank you. Thank you so much. It was a huge milestone for the Liberia IIBS journey, right? As the directors can attest. The project was implemented in phases. In the planning and design phases, we had a workshop where we invited all the stakeholders for aligning on the use case that we'll be implementing and technology principles and that are needed for the design of the system through a design document that we adopted. It was approved by the steering committee. And integration and the testing phase, we connected the DFSPs right, to the Mojalu hub
conducted the end-to-end testing in the staging environments first, and then in the friendly user testing and closed user group testing phases, we validated the G2P and P2P transactions, real money, including the settlement processes. And all of this progress, I have to say that it was possible only because of the very strong collaboration between Central Bank of Liberia, Ministry of Finance, DFSPs who are participating, African Union Foundation, Mojalu Foundation, and TESAWOX, all the stakeholders involved were very closely coordinated. And with the strong leadership from the East Governor, the Minister, and the two directors who are sitting here, without them, this will not be possible. Right? So thank you so much, Dr. Mieta and Dr. Davis. This is your achievement. Jem, we can go to the next slide, please. So the G2P use case that we implemented, the focus was to send the money from the government of Liberia directly to the citizens' wallets. So the focus on the pilot was for the salary disbursement from the Ministry of Finance, right, to the employees of the government of Liberia. As Mamadi said, initially it took them 7 days, right, from the time the ministry prepared the payroll file, right, to the time the money was received in the account. We cut that down to instant, right? So that transfer became instant, right, for the employees. Another pain point that our ministry mentioned to us was that previously, when the money was received in the accounts, there was no description of the payments, right? So people don't know when they received the payment, what that was for. With this system, right, not only the employees receive the payment instantly, they also receive the notification on the description of the payment. That is solving a lot of pain points for the people of Liberia, and we are very happy that we achieved that. So this is opening doors for like many other G2P use cases, cash transfers, payments to the vendors, payments to social payments, pension disbursement. There's so many G2P payments that can be added on the same digital channel that has been tested and are live. Jem, next slide, please. So for the P2P, our focus was to validate that the interoperability between two wallet providers is possible, and we have proven that it is. Now the citizens in Liberia can send and receive money cross providers, and this is again going to open up so many other use cases. Right? The P2G use case, the persons to government paying taxes, government fees, persons to merchant payments. And also the cross-border transfers. There's so many use cases that are possible now, and we're very excited for Liberia. Jem, next slide, please. So technical design, as you all know, right, we implemented our Moja Loop open source technology. It is connected to all the key participants in the scheme, the CBL, the DFSPs who are participating. It is based with the interoperability and inclusivity from the beginning. And the settlement is under the oversight of CBL. The platform is scalable, right? So it can add any type of financial institutions to the platform, and it can also serve many different types of use cases. Next slide, please. So we use Mojalu version 17, right, for IMPS in Liberia, which is the latest release of the Mojalu, the open source community. In fact, we may be the first instance of our Mojalu version 17 that has sent the real money, right, on its platform. So we are very proud of that. So Mojalu, as you all know, has components that are scalable and that is built with security in mind. Right? So three major components. One is there's a central switch, right, that can do the routing, clearing, settlement, right, all of that. There's the account lookup services, right, that can identify users and payees across DFSPs. There's a transaction layer that can process all the transactions securely. So all of that is possible with the ability to connect to any type of digital financial service providers. So we are very proud of that. IMPS was built with the principles of interoperability, inclusivity, security, and also we trying to meet the international standards, at the same time meet the local compliance requirements. Thank you, Jem.
Thank you, Ni. So maybe let me hand back to Amandi. Neil gave us a picture of everything we have done in terms of design, technology put in place, key activities. So what were the pilot outcomes? You can share with us.
Yes. So the pilot outcome, I would like first to highlight the director said earlier. The targets or the goals that were set by the Central Bank of Liberia to deliver P2P and G2P use case. Now we look at the objective mobile money interoperability. Today, Orange Money and MTN Money are live today with P2P and as well as government payment, which is of salaries and remunerations through the G2P use case. Now the team building as well, local capacity building, also was carried out by our colleagues from the Mojalu Foundation Accelerator Program and Capacity Building Program. We also prepare for the national scaling of the solution. I don't know. And also, it's also noted to I would like to highlight the scheme rule book and the business model. And this was also it was also part of it was a key part of the work stream, designing of the scheme rule book, making sure that taking in account into the context of the Liberian ecosystem, the existing laws by the Central Bank of Liberia, and working with the different regulatory bodies, ensuring that the scheme rule book, the SLA, and the fee structure also are part of the work that was done by the team, TISA work, Africa Lender, and the ecosystem. So these were the outcome of the project for P2P and G2P of Liberia.
Thank you, Mamaji. I know we are running out of time. Maybe let me hand over to Director Marcus. In this room, we have different markets preparing to deploy their own system. So maybe you can share a little bit very briefly about the key success factors and lessons learned from this deployment.
Thank you very much, Jeremy. I wish you had a lot of time, but we're done.
In a minute.
Yes.
I'm being put under pressure by Steve.
So again, thanks a lot to the Gates Foundation for the support that we've received. It has been really tremendous for us as a country. We appreciate that. Thank you, Mojalu Foundation, Steve. My good friend who will be leaving soon. We always admire the energy you bring to these events and inspiring everyone to participate. Simeon, wish you well on your next joining. Paula, she's not in the room. As you retire next year, we're also wishing you the best. To all of our colleagues in this room, we don't have time, but this project is a national imperative. And when you understand the context of our country, then you appreciate more why we are excited in the first place. 14 years of civil crisis, displacement, a lot of our people go across the borders as refugees. We're back and trying to rebuild. Think about having to carry 2 mobile phones just to transact using mobile money. The first mobile money license was issued in 2014, followed by the next player who joined a few years later. Imagine you went to the drugstore to get drugs, and that merchant or the person who's selling the drugs only has Orange Money, for instance, and the wallet that you're carrying is MTN. At that moment, you can transact because he can receive Orange only, and you have only MTN. With this project and what we have achieved, we've eliminated that. That is a significant achievement for our country. And yeah, we're very grateful to TISA Works. TISA Works, amazing. I told Ning that what made this possible is the passion from his team, African Lender, Mojalu Foundation, and our commitment and patriotism to our country. This is not going to stop here. There's a lot we still have to do, but we believe that the foundation has been set to do more. he talks about the governance structure. Whether you're going to adopt module loop or not, that overarching governance structure is very key. And having the internal capacity from the regulator side, whether it's a central bank or a national switch operator, you have to be committed to see this happen for your country. That internal drive is a key ingredient to what we are celebrating today. So we want to thank everybody for the support we have received and we continue to receive. Steve, thank you so much for always supporting the team. We know that P to P is the first use case, G to P is also a part of it, but we are going to build more on top of the foundation that we already have. So again, thank you so much for your support. Thank you.
Maybe what Director Marcus forgot to say is that the commitment from the Bank of Liberia was strong, big. So thank you again for this commitment. We appreciate it. So let me learn about the next steps. I think today, in the payment space, the foundation in Liberia is set up. So we have now to work to integrate more use cases. We'll be onboarding more DFSPs for the next stages of the project. And yes, we have worked on the governance, rules, operation work stream. I think we have also set up the foundation, but we still need to complete the framework of these rules, the scheme rule book, but also the governance framework. And then it's very important to us to make sure that there will be a high adoption on the market. So we will be working to make sure that we strengthen the existing infrastructure to support this scaling across the Liberian market. So thank you for your attention, and thank you, speakers. Thank you.